The following program is for mature audiences only. The views expressed by the people and other guests on the podcast are their opinions and their own and don't reflect the institutions or establishments that they work for. So please do not get our asses fired or canceled. Thank you very much. Enjoy the show.
What's up, Glad Gang? It is me. It's Jay Whitaker. What's going on? Welcome to Glad You Made It podcast, the podcast where we talk about wellness, life, survival, and just people with available schedules. So, whether you survive something or you are living better or shit, you're available. We're just glad you made it. Yeah, you see how we did that? We worked the title in. Thank you for supporting the podcast. Go to patreon.com/gladyoumade-it-podcast to support the podcast. Make sure you like us on the socials, Glad You Made It Podcast. Give those likes up. If you'd like, that would be cool to leave a review. It'd be cool, on your iTunes or Spotify. That would be great. Man, I just want to get this show going. Damn, dog. Like I'm actually at a loss for words. I'm speechless out this mug. Hopefully, y'all are taking care of yourselves. It's the holidays. If you need someone to talk to, please reach out to your loved ones, friends. If you are thinking about anything else, and you need to talk to someone on a deeper level, please reach out to dial 988. I just wanted to say that to everybody. This podcast is about helping people and being grateful for the things that we have. If you're listening for the first time, I get a feeling we're going to get a couple new listeners on this particular episode. And I think I know why. It's because we have a very special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Roy Wood Jr. in the house for this episode. He was very generous in his schedule to drop in. I know he's got a lot going on. There's been shakes up at the Daily Show, and so we're just glad we can get him. My brother sits in. Shout out my brother Brandon. Make sure you follow him on socials at the1B Miller. That's my dog right there. And I'm not even gonna really get in, just hold you up. Let's just get right into this episode. Hey, what's going on, Glad Gang? It is your friend, your good pal, Jay Whitaker. Joining me is my brother, Brandon Miller. What's up, man?
What's going on with you? We in here.
How's it going on the West Coast?
Man, it's LA, so it's 60 degrees, which is basically the end of the world for all Californians.
I hate you. I hate you, dog. It's 20 degrees over here, man.
Listen. We don't need to hear about that. We're having first world problems over here. we came outside and collectively saw ice on our windows, and we've all complained. Like California Twitter is in an uproar about it being like 40 degrees in the morning, despite the fact that it's winter.
Yeah, I was about to say the winter solstice is. I don't know why I know this, but it's in next Wednesday. I don't know why I know that.
The thing about it is, I knew it too, but I'm also an elementary school teacher, so that kind of makes it a thing. So
that's cool. I like the fact that your students get to learn about the solstice and the equinox. I see you, brother.
Look, man, and I have to tell you, man, one thing that I am missing about being in the classroom this semester is legitimately, I played Full Feather Friday episodes for my kids.
Yeah, it's really nice to hear that. I won't lie. For people that aren't familiar with Full Feather Friday, during the midst of quarantine in 2020, I got bored, and my love of bird watching just came. I got creative with it, and I decided to create my old bird watching show where I basically aggressively yelled bird facts at you for a solid minute to 2 minutes, you know. And sometimes there was a request to do like an after dark version because everybody was like, "Oh, these are fun and they're family friendly, but when can you talk about like get real with it?" And I was like, "Well, first of all, why do people want like an after dark, extra spicy version of me talking about golden eagles?" It was kind of weird.
The thing about it is, the internet and social media has ruined us. There's an after dark version of everything now. So it's like,
I
look,
don't like it.
If it can exist, then it can be after dark. So it's like, yo,
I don't
man,
like
fast food after dark. Like, what's going on at the Burger King at 10? Like, nothing. They're closing up.
Yeah, I don't want to know. I hopefully just clean up and maybe a nice inventory. That's all I want to know. Is I don't need to know anything else, man. I think a lot of people have been doing this, been doing a lot of things a little bit too extra, but you taking care of yourself as far as,
yeah, man.
Despite the very cold weather.
Nah, man. You know what? So this is our last week of doing our programs, working with these schools until the new year. So we're looking forward to after tomorrow, actually, being done until the new year with work. We have a lot. We had a lot of big projects over the last like month. And so, finally being able to just sit down, like Nicole was like, well, maybe we could go. Nope, we're sitting our asses down for at least a week and just resting and relaxing because we've been going, pretty hard since right before Thanksgiving. So,
right. That's what I'm saying. Well, y'all was planning a wedding, doing a wedding, and then basically after the wedding in October, then Thanksgiving. I mean, like that's just a lot. So,
yeah.
Glad y'all are taking care of yourselves in that regard. I mean, I still can y'all just get married again? Because I had so much fun at that wedding.
Yeah. Okay. So the craziest thing is, bro, she literally just brought this up. She was like, yo, I need to be able to wear this dress again. We might have to get married again. I'm like, yo, come on.
Like, for real, man. Me and my wife was talking. I was like, man, we had so much fun at that wedding And yeah, I got my first swag surf, which I felt like I was a part of something.
I mean, so I know we talked before about the possibility of doing like a roast style for my birthday, but we decided we're going to kind of go in a different direction to get the best of both worlds. So we're going to do a sneaker ball for my 40th. So we're all going to get dressed up, but with your sneakers on. So you got full suit, full tux. But so
basically high school prom all over again.
Exactly, all over again. You know what I mean?
Like, what do you?
And so,
what are we doing?
But you know what? It's a thing now. Like it's been a big thing. We've been seeing them like across the country. Where I mean, they go full formal and some J's, and so, you know what I mean. So we're looking to do that for my 40th. And so she's like, we have to do the first dance again because she feels like not enough people saw the first dance. So we're going to do that whole dance.
So y'all go just tour like Hamilton or something? Like, what is this shit?
Because you got to think though, her birthday being the day after mine, all of our parties are always combined. So she's like, look, we're going to celebrate you. It's your 40th, but I got some things that I got to get off my chest. So I'm like, I was like, all right, well, I guess, that's how it's going to be. So, we're looking at venues and the whole, and by we, I mean, she is looking at venues and all of that. And I'm going to show up like I did at the wedding and, it's going to be, that's going to be
shut shit down.
That's how it's going to be, and there will be swag surfing on the menu. You know what I mean? Right. DJ Artistic is already slated as the DJ. You know what I mean?
Man, that dude is a wonderful DJ. If y'all need a great DJ to follow on Instagram, DJ Artistic, dude is just nice. He does some great mixes. I actually found his account while it was in the middle of Pandy, and I was, just because DJs really kept. Yeah. DJs was going hard during in the middle of the Pandy. Like motherfuckers was cutting blends, mashups, and he was one of those dudes. And so when I saw that, I was like, DJ Artistic. I was like, wait a minute, that's that dude on it. And I was like, wait a minute, y'all got him for the wedding?
Yeah, no.
So I was like 6 drinks in, so I didn't really know what.
Yeah, no. So the thing about it is, man, like he's a really good friend of ours. We've been down with him since he was like just starting out, and at this point, he's world renowned. He's done the Roots picnic. You know what I mean? He won the Sprite competition a couple years ago. A whole lot of stuff, man. But like he's the homie. Like I could text him. You know what I mean? So it's like some of his mixes. Like I mean, I don't know if I sent you the link to it, but he has a mix for every year of the 90s with nothing but songs from that one year. So like 95, 96, 97, all the years. And then he's got one.
Where is this?
I'll send you his he moved from SoundCloud because they had too many restrictions, but one of those other platforms where people upload their mixes.
One, we got to get him on the show. So
yeah. And so absolutely. But he's got one that was super dope. It's called The Timeline. 500 songs, all from the West Coast. So from the beginning of like rap, West Coast rap, all the way through. And I want to say this is maybe like 2015. So it goes like, It goes through the hyphy movement. It gets all the way up to like, we get up to like Nipsey and all of that stuff, man. Like it's like 4 hours long or something crazy.
That's fire.
But I mean, he's got a mix. Legitimately, he's got a mix for everything. He typically drops a mix like per season. So like he's gonna have like a winter or New Year's 23 mix. You know what I mean? When just all the if you just need to get up on your popular music. I don't listen to none of that because I'm old. But the 90s mixes, they go hard. All
right, 90s mixes. I'm trying to think like what was for my 90s mixes right now that I would, if I had it'd be like early Bad Boy, early Biggie, early Pot, a lot of Digital Underground. I feel that is necessary. Diggable Planets. I hate that I found Diggable Planets late. I was very late to the party on that. Like I just knew like Cool Like That.
Yeah.
But then once I got into the deep cuts, I was like, oh shit, this is aged very well.
The thing about it, like literally, I might have found them after you because I think I found them last year. Like I literally was like, oh man, they were like a one-hit wonder. Somebody was like, I'm in like a hip hop group, and they were like, yeah, no, they had like a gang of dope songs. I was like,
yeah, like they had a. It's one of my exes put me on and it blew me. I was like, it blew me away, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
I've been sitting on this but all we wanted to. But come on, like when we was kids, all we wanted to hear was some gangster shit.
That's true.
What I mean,
that's true, man. Like I was, and so that's what I like about those mixes because like I was sitting there like, man, I remember all those Memorex cassettes where we recorded off the radio. I was like, there was a lot of gangbanging for me to be like.
Bro, you know what I missed the most was like I go back and look at some of my old Burn CDs.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And you could tell which CD was good by the way I wrote it in.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? The font that
oh yeah.
If I tag it up, oh my God, you knew that mix was crazy. If I just did a basic like, hey, this is what this is. This is like, all right, I downloaded this off LimeWire and Kazaj probably got the mix drops, probably a virus. This is just a test mix to make sure all the levels is nice.
Yeah, no.
And oh my goodness. No, like what I miss the most is those one mixes. I used to have all these. I used to be really into like house music. Did you ever get in a house?
I did not. So wait, you know what? No. And let me take that back.
This is when I moved out of LA. So this is when y'all was mad at me. So when I moved out.
So let me take that back. I got into house music, but specifically Baltimore house music. So there's like a subgenre. And
absolutely, well, there's Chicago.
Yeah. So I got in when I was at Howard. I got into Baltimore house music, and I'm not gonna lie to you, the Baltimore house mix of My Dingaling goes super hard.
Okay.
Like you just,
all right.
You just have to take my word for this. Like,
okay,
we'll revisit this. Like, I'll send you the audio for it like later. But just know that there's a Baltimore house music version of My Ding-a-Ling, and I had it on my like first ever iPod, which
okay,
and like I mean, we would be driving up to like Atlantic City from DC, and we would just be rocking just Baltimore house music, dog. Like it was between that and Go-Go, I got into Go-Go really hard.
Yeah, Go-Go.
I got into Go-Go real hard, man. So like I look, they had Go-Go Christmas carols. It was dope.
I love it.
Go-Go.
Okay.
Go-Go,
all right.
Go-Go Christmas carols are right up there underneath DMX's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which is an absolute classic.
Absolute. And Steve texted me the other day. He had never heard the DMX Rudolph until like Tuesday. Like he was like,
the OG version or the actual recorded version?
Either. He didn't know that DMX had ever sang the song. I was like, you've never seen the video where he's in Breakfast Club and singing it? And he was like, no. And then, because I guess it was on an episode of Abbott Elementary, they played it like in the club, and it was like the recorded joint. And he was like, wait, y'all knew about this? We were like, yeah, everybody's like, this is, I was like, it's years and years old. Like that's got to be a decade old at this point, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, shit. Well, we'll enjoy that right after we take a very quick break. We got a very special guest, so we're going to get them in. But yes, make sure you check out DMX's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Welcome back to Glad You Made It podcast. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce our guest. You may know him from 95.7. Back in the day.
If anybody know me from 95.7 is listening, I just want to say hello to you.
Yeah, I got listen.
That's a deep cut.
That's a deep cut. But yeah, you may know him from Confess Fletch. You may know him from The Daily Show. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Roy Wood Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you feel, man?
Yes, Lord. And I'm in this thing.
Yeah. Thank you so much honestly, brother, man, thank you so much for just coming through. Now, you had my brother Brandon on your podcast.
And Jay's been mad about that since then, because I was on your podcast before I was on his, and he's been mad about it ever since.
But tight. And absolutely tight, because I was like, yo, bro, you need to come on. I just, maybe we connecting. We brothers, man. We got to stick together and let's do this podcast thing. And I was like, and he's like, yeah, I got this HBCU summit that'd be really, I've been really busy with it. And I was like, oh, well, shit, man, you should go on Roy's job fair. And he's like, oh, shit. And then I was like, okay. I like this podcast thing.
Look, in my defense, we've been trying to get on the same pod for maybe like 3 years now. And we've been just taking turns having life events and existential crises. So I feel like this is more your fault than mine. And
accountability.
There we go. Look, Roy worked around my schedule, so I feel like you weren't being accommodating enough.
Oh, damn!
The problem is you, motherfucker.
So Roy, switching gears. How you been, man?
Man, I'm good, man. I ain't got no complaints, bro. I'm just trying my best to pay a couple bills, keep this 6-year-old engaged intellectually and physically, and making sure that he is exercising, all the dad shit, man.
Just dad shit.
Dad shit, job shit. What's left after dad and job shit? Ain't nothing left to do but sleep a little bit.
I mean,
yeah,
sometimes you sleep during the dad shit and the job shit. Makes life interesting.
Yeah. And then you wake up and it's ultra quiet and you're like, oh, like where he at?
What's so wild is like right now, there's like, my son is finally at that age where you can like legit fucking go to sleep around him and know that he'll be fine or the house is burning down.
I mean, getting down to 50-50 odds is pretty solid. Like,
you know, like you literally can just sit and be like, yo, I think I'm going to take a 30-minute nap. I think he's all right. And then you wake up an hour and a half later, like, oh my God, it's too quiet in this house. And you be running around the house trying to find him. And then he's just under his bed making Legos. Now, sure, he snuck 8 granola snacks he wasn't supposed to have, but that's better than burning down the house, my dude.
That's a fair trade. Yeah. That's a fair.
And I appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy for you, man. Like I got a 15-year-old. What? Brandon, how you got
the oldest is 16. I got a 12. I got a 9, and the 9-year-old is the goddamn ringleader. And like over the Thanksgiving break, we were together and we were making like fresh squeezed lemonade. And she started trying to plot on how she could sell this lemonade, like to me though. She was like, "Yo, if you don't have any cash, we could take an organ." I'm like, "We taking organs for living?" She tried to take my liver for a cup of lemonade that I bought the juicer for. I was like, "We should be 50-50 on this." She was like,
"Man, kids is cold like that." Is yours like that, Roy?
Oh yeah. Like he's a little older now. He understands negotiations and trades and swaps and all of that stuff. And that buddy he said to me one night, I was like, you gotta go to bed. You know, come on. And he knows at the end of the night when we go through the night routine of bath and, you know, hygiene and all of that shit, right? Buddy told me one night, I said, "Man, get on in there and brush your teeth, brush your hair." You go, "I already did that when I was in the tub." And I was like, shit. So that means you get 5. He was trying to get, in an effort to create 5 extra minutes of staying up, he condensed activities all into one activity. And I was like, you can't brush your teeth with bath water. I used the faucet. I turned it on. And then I brushed my teeth. And then you spit into the bath water. He was like, yeah. And then you brush your teeth. I was like, man, that's brilliant.
Yeah, he got he gonna teach kids seminars.
He's
brilliant.
You know, I mean, and that's the amazing thing, because cherish this time, Roy, because in the next 3 to 4 years, he's not gonna want to bathe for shit ever again. He's gonna use up all of his baths between now and like 4th grade. And then that's it. He gonna turn on everything and not get in any of them. He gonna turn on the sink and brush his teeth. He gonna turn on the tub, never get in any of them, and just come out and be like, "Dog, I see the green stink lines coming off you."
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with me, Daddy.
I called my mom and apologized because the shit that my son was walking at, like, he was just so dusty. And I was like, "Mom, was I really like this?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, my bad.
You know what, man? You just got shit to do. Like, I went through my phase. Like, it was worse for me. Peep my average day in high school. I go to high school till 3, baseball practice till 6. Yep. And then I would work at fucking Subway until 10 p.m. on a school night sometimes.
On a school night?
Coming home. Do you understand what baseball and onions smell like? I don't know. I don't know how people who work at Subway smell now, but in 95, it was onions. Because we was cutting all that produce fresh, so the smell of the onions would get in your skin. This is pre-rubber glove era hygiene, public health laws. So you was just touching vegetables raw dog. So that them onions would just be in your skin, in your pores, and you smell like baseball dirt. But it's 10:30 and the bus coming to get me at 6:30 in the morning, dog.
I was just about to ask, was you driving? And so you had to catch. Did you get?
Yeah, I would catch a ride.
Back in high school?
No, I had at that time at Subway. No, I had a coworker who lived on the same side of town, so we would just get scheduled together. So I was like bumming rides from seniors and all of that other shit.
That's my senior quote. I need a ride home. My senior quote was, "I need a ride home." That was.
My thing is, that's how you know true friendship, though, because if you could smell like baseball dirt and onions, and you get to sit in his car, because he didn't have leather, he had them cloth seats. That means that was holding the smell in. Nah, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's a brotherhood. That's a bond where you're like, "Yo, man, We had to ride with the windows down in the winter because
yeah, smelling like Louisville Slugger and red onions.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
that's real friendship. So, all right, humor me for a second. It's high school, so what are you riding up? Like, all right, so you riding with the homies. What are the 5 songs that if they came on right now, what was y'all riding to? We was talking about mix CDs before you got on.
Was it Ice Cube Death Certificate? Let me
Absolutely.
Google it real quick. Which track is Really Though? Is that I think that's
America's Most, maybe?
Yeah. Because I'll defer to Brandon on that because I know you was a big Ice Cube fan.
Lethal Injection.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had Ice Cube, Lethal. Yeah, there you go. Released 93. I came out of high school 96. Really Though with Ice Cube, and then pretty much when Outkast blew with Players Ball in 94, it really shifted what type of rap we listened to. Like Ice Cube begat Goody Mob, begat Cool Breeze.
Mm-hmm. Cool Breeze. People don't talk about Cool Breeze enough.
Just as cold. Like really, if you go back and listen to Breeze, he's kind of a T.I. 1.0.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the flow and just the swag of his, they didn't rap about the same shit. Breeze was more player and chill. T.I. was like, hardcore trap. But Easy does it.
So y'all was really on the West Coast out there.
Yeah, the South kind of deferred to the West Coast because the East Coast didn't really fuck with the South in those days. They didn't talk shit about us, but the sound wasn't as
inviting.
LL Cool J, sure. Yeah, it felt like its own thing.
Yeah.
And you listen to some East Coast music, sure, but you gotta remember in that era, it was also Cool Mo D and LL Cool J and Run DMC and all of that. But you're asking about what we were playing in the car, right? As a JV baseball player riding with seniors to baseball practice.
Mm-hmm.
It was Eazy-E, it was Cube, and it was anybody out of Atlanta.
Okay, all right, I see.
So real quick, is Players Ball one of the best?
Ghetto Boys.
No 8-ball. No 8-ball MJG.
A little, but
okay.
That was. I'm not saying that they weren't the shit back then, but that wasn't getting bumped in the cars.
And no UGK, nothing like that.
A little, but not with the people I was riding with. Not with the people I was riding with. Like, and I'll be honest, I didn't really get up on Ball and MJG and UGK until a little later in high school. Like if I'm high school 92 through 96, it was NWA, it was Easy, it was the DOC. And then it was a little bit of Cube. Like that was that whole, it wasn't Death Row Records, but you get what I'm saying. It was them niggas. It was the NWA niggas and all they spinoffs. And then it was a little bit of Snoop. But everything else, as far as I remember riding to the car, like riding to baseball practice and just riding around, it was Outkast, man. I had Ghetto Boys. I had mine playing Tricks on Me, and I had Till Death Do Us Part. Like I bought those albums, but I wouldn't say that those were like canon amongst everybody in the school.
I got you.
Lay It Down, of course, Mr. Big, Outside Looking In, all of that shit. But, if you're asking me to name the 5, like kind of artists that I would say were like really the staples in the cars I were in, it was Outkast and it was a lot of West Coast cats. And then it was just occasionally the Ghetto Boys. Ghetto Boys didn't really make music for the radio too. And you got to understand, in the 90s, radio kind of dictated your flavor. UGK was Underground Kings for a reason. Like they didn't have singles like that. Not back then. Like I would argue Pocket Full of Stones might have been one of the ones that like really broke them through like on like Southern radio at the time. But I'm just speaking about Alabama because I know it's some nigga from Texas right now. Motherfucker, they played Wood Green. I know, nigga. I know they played it, but you lived in Galveston. Of course they played it there. But no, I would say in those days, man, when Outkast broke through and Goody Mob broke through, it just wasn't shit else. Like the Brat, we were still bumping Crisscross. We were kind of on the backside of, we didn't know it at the time, but we were on the backside of Crisscross, but they got love. I mean, it was just anything out the A.
Just always like to ask, because it's curious. I always find people, because especially with comics, we on the road sometimes, and it's like sometimes those songs from our high school days, our college days, it's like they hit different. I got into Diggable Planets all over again, and because I've been doing shows on the road, and so it's just like, all right, well, I need something to check out. So that's all. I always have to pick people's brain, especially comics, on the on what they do on the road. How has the road been treating? I know you was actually up at my way in Boston. Y'all did the Garden. How was that?
Yeah, that was a good time. That was Comics Come Home with Denis Leary and like 10, 15 other comedians, Bobby Kelly, Sam J, Jimmy Fallon. I'm not going to try and name everybody. It was a lot of fucking beasts on that show. That was a good time. I'm just now starting to get back on the road, Like I took about a year off, just for the sake of trying to restructure my writing, which I still haven't completely done. I'm working on it, but like that part of it, I'm not going to say is hard, but I definitely am in a place now where I'm trying my best to do, a few more club sets around New York first before I start getting my shit together. And getting back out on tour on a regular basis.
Well, I mean, do you miss Herschel Walker? I mean, I know that made it very easy for a lot of us.
Come on, dog. Don't ask no disrespectful ass shit like that.
Look, man, I feel like, Herschel gave me material, and I'm not a comedian. So I felt like, you know what I mean? Like you kind of, sometimes you need that softball. Like, you're a baseball player. Sometimes you needed an easy pitch just to get you back in the groove.
Trump gave you niggas 4 years of softballs. That's enough softballs. It's time to work.
Yeah.
We need real politicians so the joke writers can emerge again.
Let's go. No, I'm excited to hear that you're back on the road. I mean, and I have to say this, this is no dick ride, no nothing. This is just like, being a comic is a job that not everybody that understands. It's not a profession that everybody fully gets. And so me explaining this to my son, what dad does for a living, he didn't fully get it until he heard The Price of Tranquility. You on I think it was on Father Figure or
the price you pay for politeness is your time.
Yeah, and he talks about smoothies. When you talk about smoothies, and you were talking about how you was, and you were at Wise Guys. You were kind enough. That's where I first met you. You were kind enough to drop a shout out to my son on his birthday for smoothies. But like, seriously, that's when it clicked. He's like, "That's what you do, Dad?" He's like, "You go up like Roy and you talk about smoothies." I'm like, "Well, not smoothies, but I complain about other shit,
other stuff."
But like, it was cool to see the light turn on for him and like figure out like, oh, this is what stand. And so now, my son is back in Utah. I'm still out here in Boston, but he shares stand up with me all the time now, and when he watches like when you were on This Is Not Happening, like he was a big fan of that.
How old is your boy?
He's 15 now.
Yeah, see, my son, it's a little weird. Like I can tell he has a sense of humor. I don't really encourage it. I don't discourage it. Mm-hmm. But, I don't want no class clown on my hands and have to be the dad to the school. What's wrong with my boy? But I know he's headed that way eventually because he's crazy smart, bro. And he just he's going to be the dude that already finished his work 2 weeks before the rest of the class. And he just going to get them jokes in. But he's seen me on The Daily Show enough to understand, well, when he was little, I worked inside the TV.
Okay.
That's like when he was 3. Like, Daddy has to go. He's got to go get inside the TV. So I would leave the house to go get inside the TV. I think now he knows that I work in television. Like, I've taken him to the studio once or twice just to see the operation of it all. Because I remember going to the radio station with my dad and that being something really dope. Like, I don't know, it's just a dope memory to be able to attach to him. So, I don't know when. My question is, has he seen you perform live yet?
Yeah, that was, so this was back in September. I mean, he had seen me before, but he wasn't really old enough to get the material. Mm-hmm. And it was in September. I was at the Wise Guys out in Ogden, and you kind of, that's like an all ages club. So they, you work a little bit cleaner there, and it was fine. I did like 50, and I know my son has a very distinct laugh, and I just said, kick back, chill. One of my buddies from Baltimore was there visiting, so he just sat with my boy Eric, and he laughed his ass off, and he got it. Like, it's like, I like that tag, because there was a couple tags from old jokes that I had. He was like, oh yeah, I like that. So he knew the jargon and everything. He's student of the game. But
that boy got a Bronny on his hands.
Look, man. No. Well, you know what? He's got because at first when I first told him I was a comedian, he started buying all them joke books from like Barnes and Nobles and shit, and was like, no, what did the traffic light say to the cars? Don't look at me, I'm changing, or something like that. Like just real dry shit. I'm like, nah, that's not what I do. But he thought that's what I did for a long time, and then he heard you, and it just it clicked. So I'm always grateful for you, brother.
Look, man, I'm jealous of y'all because y'all have jobs where like your kids are interested in going to see. Because I'm a teacher. I'm like, hey man, you want to come to this other school that's just not your school? They're like, no, I don't have the same portability of my profession. So, he was like,
nah, he's never seen me. He saw me live once, but he was like 2 or 3. It was one of them outdoor shows in the park, and he was there, but I'm sure he didn't make the connection.
That's a happy medium, though, because he's at the park. So it's like, if he ain't interested, he got out. He can go look at some butterflies.
Yeah, but the problem with park shows is that you always kind of sort of bomb outdoors.
Yeah.
At least I do. Like, depending on the park show, but most of the park shows I do, I ain't killing like I kill in a basement. Yeah. It ain't basement level laughter.
Yeah.
So I don't want my son to look up there and be like, damn, Daddy kind of sad. Anyway, get back to playing with these trucks.
Least favorite show that you ever like just the worst bomb.
Chattanooga State University day show, outdoors with the radio station truck playing the speak. You know how the radio station has the truck of speakers that they put
Oh no.
And just bump. And it's nothing against Chattanooga State. Yeah. I don't want anybody listening who goes to Chattanooga State. Motherfucker, first he diss UGK. Now you talking about Chattanooga. Hey, the show is outdoors in like this little, I don't want to say like a theater in the round type little, like a bunch of steps that escalate down to make like a little stage at the bottom, right? But the stage is in front of the sidewalk that is the main thoroughfare between the parking deck and the student center. So imagine performing to people, but between you and the people is a walkway, and it's just people passing by in front of you at ground level. They're at eye level with you, walking past you as you perform up to people who are elevated above you.
What? No.
Okay.
During the day, impossible setup during the day with a radio station truckle speaker. I was supposed to do an hour. About 10 minutes in, Buddy came up to the side of the stage and was like throwing in the flag, like, you can wrap it up. And I was like, thank God they paid me in full.
Hey,
Thank you, Chetany.
There you go.
Here's the thing, because I was going to do the time for the young comedians listening. Do the time.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to remember a bad comedian. They just remember comedians who made them feel bad. Bombing doesn't make people feel bad. It's just, you suck. I'm going to do a different activity now in your presence. Okay, fine. Do it.
For anybody listening, and I know there's comics that listen. There it is. There it is. I know we gotta get you going. Last couple things I did want to ask was just favorite road hacks for comics in general.
Oh shit, man. The game didn't change so much. I'm not sure.
Or old ones that are outdated, or
when you check out of a hotel, keep the key.
Oh, come on now. Yeah, absolutely.
And as you build up a collection of keys,
I already know where this is going.
You can go in other hotels and get free breakfast.
Yep.
You just walk in with your key in your hand. It helps if you got a newspaper and act like you're coming in from outside, reading the paper or some shit. And the front desk people look at you. They see a key. They don't question you. I've learned, above all, from white people, if you act like you're supposed to be there, no one questions why you're there.
Yep.
I used to perform in Suits in like these big hotel convention centers or whatever. And so like it would be like a corner of the hotel that's turned into a comedy club, but up the hall is a wedding reception or some other shit. Man, I peep game real fast. You can walk in any hotel in this country in a black suit and tie, and you can leave with a plate of food.
Come on. Absolutely.
Ain't nobody gonna say nothing. It's probably theft. I don't know, but I'm just telling you the hacks.
We are glad you made a podcast and not complicit in any crimes that you may commit in a hotel or convention center. And we respect that continental breakfast.
But yeah, those were the main ones, man. Like those were the ones, like just figuring out ways to sneak and get food and shit like that. And then also, if you're on the road and you have an off day, you'd be surprised how many hotels will either give you a free night on the comedy club's tab or give you the comedy club's rate for a room.
Huh.
So like, for example, like if you're on a weekend run, like a Thursday through Friday or Thursday through Sunday, and you want to stay over on Monday, the hotel you're staying at, hey, I know the comedy club only pays for this, but is it okay if I get their rate for the money? Yeah, fine. The manager don't give a fuck. It ain't his money. Yeah. So, that's one shortcut. It used to be a free night, but I don't imagine that's happening anymore. But sometimes you can sneak an early check-in. You know what I'm saying?
I tried that.
Like some spots charge $50 for the early check, but sometimes you can sweet talk them. Hey, I had some issues with my flight. I'm coming in early at 6 a.m. I know I'm not supposed to check in till 3, but is it possible? And then I pull up to that bitch at 4 a.m.
in a black suit. Black suit with an extra key card just in case, man. What are you working on? Anything you want to plug?
No, man. Just fuck with the Daily Show, man. We back into January with guest hosts, and we just want people to keep watching. We still gonna be talking about this bullshit that's going on in the world. So we'll lead it off with Leslie Jones, MLK week.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope, man. And just thank you for Roy's Job Fair. That is a wonderful podcast that everybody needs to check out. Like,
man, seriously, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. We trying to grow that thing.
Yeah. When I retire from a certain job, I still hope that you have the podcast around. Then I can come on and regale you with some tales. But man, I just really, really appreciate what you're doing. And thank you for also getting the Juneteenth ice cream canceled.
I did not.
Thank you.
Listen, all I did was mention that the shit was wild, and now everybody trying to act like I'm the goddamn hero.
Look, man,
you're an activist, brother.
Not all heroes. Not all heroes wear capes, Roy. You gotta take that one, man. You going in the history books.
Don't pull me into that shit.
Critical race theory talking about the great ice cream scandal.
And it's going to open your books to page 437, and it's Roy Wood Jr. holding Juneteenth ice cream saying, no, this ain't it.
Everywhere but Florida. Florida ain't going to let them talk about that. They're going to be like, man, we unilaterally decided to get rid of this ice cream, not because of any influence, because their history lessons is a little, So, but yeah, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. And it's all great.
And thank you for, bringing my brother, getting him to do a podcast with me. I know y'all got the HBCU connection.
Oh, yeah.
We got the comedy connection. And just gratefully appreciate your time, man. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Roy Wood Jr., thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
So appreciate it.
Yeah. So